Good afternoon. Good afternoon on Thursdays in Black. Today's daily reflection. For the last couple of weeks, my ears have been filled with voices. Voices of anger and frustration. Voices demanding that we reopen now. Voices of anxiety that say we are not ready to reopen. Voices of those who have been denied. Voices of those who are willing to keep the status quo because they are worried about family and friends whose immune systems are compromised. Voices of irresponsibility. Voices of authority. With all those voices, which one am I supposed to listen to? Obviously, I've been puzzling about that for a while, wanting and waiting for an answer. I think maybe that answer came last night in an email from University Lutheran Church in Tempe, Arizona. University Lutheran is also the Lutheran campus ministry for Arizona State University, and its pastor is a friend of mine, the Reverend Gary McCluskey. Pastor Gary's columns over the years have always been thought-provoking, like the poinsettia that keeps growing as Lent was approaching, and he wondered what he should do with a Christmas flower as Lent got near. And then there was last night's column. Let me read it to you. I have always admired the talent of Mel Blanc. You know that name. The late Mel Blanc was the voice of nearly all Looney Tune characters, watched by many generations of fans, including today. Mel did voices from Porky Pig to Daffy Duck to Bugs Bunny and even to the beep beep of the Roadrunner. While in a coma following a car accident, doctors could only get him to talk by addressing him as Bugs Bunny, and he would respond with the voice of that wascally wabbit. He also had a great sense of humor. The epitaph on his tombstone is, "That's all, folks." Yes, Mel had quite a talent. Yet whenever you and I speak, whether by voice or writing, do we not have many voices speak through us? Have you ever said anything and then thought, gee, that was my mom or dad speaking? How many people helped to shape us and mold our viewpoints? Teachers, family members, colleagues, mentors, so many influences to the point that their voice can at times be heard in our own. As you and I confront the reality of COVID-19, no doubt the words and thoughts we use to respond are some amalgamation of those voices that once influenced us and helped to create who we have become. Succouring succotash. But this remains the Easter season. Christ is risen. New life awaits. That means you and I have not yet become. We are instead becoming. There are many voices to address us and our time. There are voices that can blend into our speech regardless of our age. That raises the question, to whose voice do we listen? How do we wish to respond to more weeks of sheltering and more weeks of uncertainty regarding how this pandemic might shape the future? Do we want to simply respond with fear, with anger, with unfounded certainty, with hope regardless of what the future might bring? Choose those voices carefully. We don't want to be Tweety the canary who constantly sees a putty cat, nor ought we become Foghorn Leghorn, who with his overconfident sense of importance. With the cacophony of voices addressing us today, we all claiming to be in the know, you and I need to constantly recall the voice of Jesus, the voice from the Sermon on the Mount, the voice who pronounced forgiveness, the voice that taught in parables, the voice from the cross, and the voice that walked along Emmaus's road and grilled fish on the beach. Certainly. That's all, folks. That was the end of Gary's column. Last Sunday, Laura asked us to look for the blessings in the week. For me, Gary's words are one of those blessings. Thank you, my friend. And for now, that's all. Well, not really, because I still look forward to seeing you on Sunday here in worship. I'm seeing more and more faces. Thank you. And remember, wash your hands. Stay home if you're sick. Love one another. practice that important social distancing, and most importantly, Phil Esterhouse's words as he dismissed the troops out onto the streets in Hill Street Blues: be careful out there.